Hello again, footy fans. Welcome along to footytips.com.au AFL Round 6. Russell Barwick alongside Mark McVeigh, former Essendon champion, to have his thoughts on the upcoming round of AFL. And I'm talking about a game that you have, an affinity with. You played a dozen or so Anzac Day matches for Essendon against Collingwood. What does it mean, not playing, but what did that game mean to you guys?
Well, it's amazing that obviously it's just another game of football, but both football clubs go out of their way to make sure that every player realises the significance of the day, and that certainly is highlighted during the build-up of the week and also when you arrive at the ground. It's one of those special days. It rivals grand final day. Obviously, the prize isn't as big, but it certainly is a day that all supporters from Essendon and Collingwood and players really respect. Yeah,
I don't know whether you have more of a crack, but it seems like the players have just a level up of intensity.
Yeah, I think so, and I think we talk about honouring our Anzacs and what they did for us, and I think just the whole purpose of everyone turning up, having 100,000 in the stadium, two great teams of great supporters turn up, I think that really highlights what it means, and that special moment before the bounce, mate, when the trumpet's blowing and absolute dead silence. It's pretty amazing.
You can't tip Collingwood, can you?
No. Well, look, they're going really well, aren't they? Yeah. They're travelling so well, and I think they were questioned early after their heavy defeat against Fremantle in round one. They've certainly come back since.
And the Bombers need a win. Disappointing last week, terrible against St Kilda.
They were, and they've had a bad couple of weeks, and I think they've identified that. And Bomber was questioned during the week about his comments around rehab and all that type of thing and what they've done, but I think they'll be up for the challenge. I think the day presents something really special for them and they'll be ready to go. Okay,
second game in Anzac Day of the trifecta is in Wellington. Saints, who were good last week against the very disappointing Lions.
Yeah, the Lions have coming off two heavy defeats, and one of those being at the Gabba. This is a good fixture. I think I went there last year to watch the Saints v the Swans and it was terrific, but I think Saints will be too strong for Brisbane, who are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and I reckon Freo looked the morals of the weekend against North, who looked a bit flat last week after that big win against Sydney.
Well, Freo, the Swans really hammered them, didn't they, physically, and they really went hard at them, and I think Freo will beat them.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Saturday, we've got the Suns and the Giants. The Suns did enough to win, but only just against Melbourne. The Giants have got some injury issues that they haven't had for a while.
That hurts them, doesn't it? They need all their players playing, and Mumford's the big loss, but I think Gold Coast at their home turf will win.
Carlton bounced back, got that win, got that monkey off the back, and they host the West Coast Eagles this week. And the West Coast were gallant last week, but in the end just fell a little bit short. Carlton might get them again.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. I think West Coast, once they get it together, can win the game, and I think they'll beat Carlton, who have really struggled, and they were lucky to beat Melbourne last week. They were lucky to win last week, and coming off that shocking defeat against Melbourne. But I think West Coast can do it.
Yeah, I thought the Blues were okay, but anyway, we'll beg to differ on that one. Melbourne v Sydney. Now, Sydney, no Kirk Tippett, he's got a broken rib. Perhaps Goods makes a comeback after 10 months on the sideline, but I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Swans are going to be too strong for Melbourne. They're a proud club, and they show that against Fremantle. They'll win against Melbourne.
Okay, Western Bullies kick off Sunday football, taking on an informed Crows. The Bullies looked okay, but just struggled last week.
Yeah, they did, and they've shown some promising signs, haven't they? But I think the Crows are a better side at this stage. The Bullies are still very young, so I think the Crows will beat them in a tight one.
Okay, interesting game this one. Tigers generally up for a game like Hawthorn, but Hawthorn, well, beware the wounded hawk after last week's loss to the Cats.
And what a game that was to watch. Game of the year so far. I know it's only early, but the Tigers won this game last year and really do step up, as you said, at those big games. But I think the Hawks, they're too classy. They'll be too strong for the Tigers.
Well, we talked about the first game of the weekend being interesting. Well, the last game is going to be fabulous. Port Adelaide, informed, good footy team. Good footy club taking on Geelong, who are unbeaten.
Well, what this game presents is two teams that are doing the 1%ers better than anyone else in their competition. They're tackling hard, they're putting their head over the footy and really going at it. Port, I think they can beat Geelong. I really think they've got the game to actually take it all the way, and they'll go deep into September.
Yeah, I think you're 100% spot on. It's going to be a cracking game. Let's have a look at Mark's tips for this weekend of footy. Obviously going for the Bombers in the Anzac Day clash. The Saints and the Freo to round out those three games on a big Anzac Day footy game. Gold Coast and West Coast, and then Sydney, of course, taking care of Melbourne. Then on Sunday, Adelaide, Hawthorn and Port Adelaide, to make sure there are no more unbeaten teams in the AFL.